Well, good afternoon, everybody. I thought it was probably about time that I went ahead and gave a summation of week 2, an overview of week 2. This week we have 3 things that we want you to concentrate on. Looking at time management and prioritizing your responsibilities. Many of you, through your writings and through your discussions, have indicated that this is an area where you feel you need to go ahead and work on because it's not a skill you have mastered yet. Well, trust me, you're not the only one. This is a skill that everybody can learn how to master, but it does take time, it takes practice, it takes time, and remember, persistence does pay. The second thing we want you to begin to look at is how to avoid plagiarism and how to credit your sources appropriately. This is a critical skill for you to learn for your academic career because we want, of all things, we want you to be sure never to have to worry about plagiarism. It is a serious offense, so please pay attention to that this week. And then the third thing we want you to look at is the online library. Some of you may be familiar with that if you've already done work at Moody online. This should be a resource that you're familiar with. Otherwise, this online library exercise will take you through the process of looking at some of the things in the library. We do have another one planned for later in the term, so don't feel bad if you don't get it the very first time you go through this. It'll be okay because you will have an opportunity to work with it later. All right, let's move on. What are we going to be reading about today? This week, sorry. It's all about the meaning of our work and how important it is for us to view our work the way Christ would. And so some of you have already started to read some of the other supplemental readings that we provided to you. And I think that's great because it really does make a difference on how you view what you're doing. And I think it also begins to give you a glimmer of maybe you are exactly where you need to be, where God has put you in your work life. And that would be great. It may not necessarily be in a church. It may be in another industry, and you can consider that a mission field. Just a thought anyway. Okay, so you have then seeking congruence. How do you balance what you need to do, your work life, your home life, your family life, that kind of thing. The Turabian is all about preventing plagiarism, so that's another reading that you're going to be doing to help you figure those things out. Let's see, going and watching the media or looking at other types of information that you need to get access to. You do have the student handbook. We are asking you to read a section in there about plagiarism. It does tell you what Moody will do if you're turned in for plagiarism, so please pay attention to that. We have the library online guide for academic integrity. We have an orientation for the library itself, and then a video on how to manage your time better. So again, we're helping you to get resources that may be helpful to you in order to be able to manage your time and look at other things that you would do. Now we do have the further study. The further study again is not required, but some of you may be interested in finding out if there's anything more you can learn about plagiarism and how to look at it. This tutorial, the Mississippi Plagiarism Tutorial, takes you through an entire process to teach you a little bit more about how to recognize plagiarism and how to avoid it. Okay, so talking about plagiarism all over again, we're looking at an essay that we want you to write. And we want you to base it on Matt Perman and Justin Taylor, What is Plagiarism? So if you scroll back up, here it is. It's the third item down, be sure to read that, because you're going to be looking at that and to discuss some practical steps Bible teachers can take to avoid plagiarism. So we want you to think about a ministry that you want to either go into or that maybe you're already in, and how do you plan to avoid plagiarism in your own ministry. So here's some things. Integrate a summary of the author's argument. So make sure that that's part of your paper. And at least one cited paraphrase. So you're going to read it. You're going to learn how to paraphrase. We want you to cite it. Last week you also learned about in-text citation and how you need to put that in your paper. Please be sure to review that, because I will be looking for those things in the paper. A short analysis of the author's arguments, and then your own response to their main topic and how it relates to you. Okay, your instructions do tell you to follow the MLA formatting. I'm going to try to have all of your papers back to you within the next day or two to help you with your formatting. And don't forget to read my notes that I put in there so that you can see what areas that you did well and what areas that you need to improve on. Now, don't forget, we also have assignment 2-1 will be part of your final success action plan document, and we point you to page 6, so you can go look at your document. You should have put in some information in there from your first assignment, which was the smarter analysis or smarter measure assessment, and now we're asking you to put another section in there. Please do that. It will help you get your final project done a lot more quickly. Okay, now we're looking at the library skills, and it tells you where to go, gives you the link, so make sure you click on the link, and then go to the home pages and the Getting Started Complete activities 1 and 2. When you're done go to the journal and then answer these 2 questions in the journal. What was the most important thing you learned in the Getting Started lesson, and what important questions still remain unanswered? Now this is an interesting question, I think, because if you have any questions in, we want you to be sure to ask them. And what I will do is I will forward this to our in-house librarian, and she has assured me that she will go ahead and contact people about questions that you may have. So please don't hesitate to let us know what's going on, what you want to know more about, and so she can work with you. Now, again, with assignment 2-2, it's also part of your success action plan, and it goes to pages 3 and 6. Don't forget to do that. Now, your discussion this week is all about what you need to change in order to meet the demands of your academic schedule and other responsibilities. Many of you said, I'm married, I have a family, sometimes it's tough to do all of these things. I need to exercise to stay healthy. There are a number of things that you have to juggle in order to make all of this stuff work. But you all know that the Lord has put you here in this class at Moody for a reason. So these are some of the things that we're trying to help you look at in terms of how do you juggle all of these things. But it also we go through and we say, well, here's a time management worksheet that you can use to help you look at what's going on, and even after your smarter measure assessment, one of the things that maybe you need to look at is, well, what kind of procrastinator am I? And we point you to the resources in week 2. So you can go to the week 2 folder. You have the time management worksheet here that you can download, and also the flow sheet that looks at what kind of procrastinator are you. So, okay, so there we are. That's everything for week 2. It's a little cloudy and starting to get overcast here, and I think I'm ready for spring already. And here we are, we're still in the middle of January. Okay, guys, you have a great day.